Oh, really, it's fantastic. I feel really honoured, like the rest of the lads, really honoured to have this presentation and have my face on the stamp, because I told lots of people the only time that I've seen something different, will be something different on the stamp, is because I've only seen the Queen Mother and the Queen on the stamp. So be alongside them, it really is a great honour.
And do you think, Gordon, by having the 11 heroes on and including yourself on the stamps, it's going to inspire the younger generation to get into sports?
Oh, of course it is. Yeah, I'm certain it is. They always look at the players that played, and they might copy them, but might have the enthusiasm. They want to do the same thing, and I'm sure it will give them that opportunity. It's like the Olympic Games, if you remember. You know, people now, you see how many cyclists you see on the roads today. I can't believe how many you see today, but that's what it's all about, yeah.
No, well, first of all, I have to say I've never envisaged being on a stamp, because it's not something that you would even think of unless you're the Queen or the Big Ben. And second, it's a great honour because, particularly with the people I'm alongside, because I grew up in Jamaica as a young boy, looking at people like George Best every time big match soccer came along and Jimmy Greaves scoring great goals. Insofar as actually my father named me after John Charles. My middle name is Charles. I'm John Charles Brown Barnes, because my father was an army officer from Jamaica who was at Sandhurst in England in the 50s, and he played football for Jamaica also, but he admired greatly a colossus of a man playing for these called John Charles, and he said, I'm going to name my son after him. Not for 1 minute think I'll ever be on a stamp with John Charles. So, it's slightly different for them, because I suppose for Sir Bobby and people like that, they grew up as superstar footballers, whereas for me, I grew up as a young boy looking up to these people. Not for 1 minute even imagining I'm going to be a footballer, and not for 1 minute imagine I'll be even recognised alongside players like George Best. Obviously, we had the Olympics not so long ago, and I recognise the impact football has on people's lives generally, all over the world, worldwide, not just in England, and how it can empower youngsters to get into sport, but also recognise that, okay, it happens to be me, but there could be another 100 footballers. What inspires is football. Football, it inspires people, it brings people together. So while, yes, I'm fortunate enough to be one of the 11, the credit really has to be given to the game of football, which does inspire people and can empower people. So, yeah, I'm very honoured and privileged, but the greater glory has to go to football and what football can do for people. I feel, as I said, that you could have another 100 on there, and I'm sure that the majority of them who are on there, if not all of them, deserve to be there. Not that I don't deserve to be there, but it's just strange, because you don't necessarily, as I said, I don't see myself as being like Sir Bobby Charlton or John Charles or George Best. So, yeah, maybe you have to ask them how they feel about it, but there's so many other footballers. But if I had to choose my 10, there would be many of them who are on it. Not me, though. My brother-in-law is a postman, and I know what he goes through in Liverpool. And I see him, he lives around the corner from me, and he comes, he's up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and then I see him at night, and he's tired. He says he's got to wake up the next day, go out in the cold and the rain. So I have a lot of respect for him and what he does. And of course, a bit like with my father I remember when I used to go and visit the troops in Iraq, when my father grew up in the army, and not many people know the good work that they actually do. We just take it for granted that England is the way it is, the world is the way it is, because that's just the way it is, and we just take it for granted that our mail are delivered, and when the post comes, it comes. How does it actually get there? And the good men and women at the Royal Mail, kudos to you.
Well, I feel very privileged, very flattered. When you're 15 years of age and you're leaving school, if the headmaster has said one day, Greaves, you'll be on a picture of a stamp, you'd have thought he was more madder than I always thought he was anyway. But it's very, very humbling. I really am proud. Really am proud. I don't honestly know about the younger generation. I think it will be attractive to the older generation. And as they probably buy more stamps than the younger generation, it's probably a good thing. The faces that are there are what they are, great players. They were all great footballers, all icons of their day. And there's an argument for one or two others, but I think by and large it's not a bad team, We get very good post where we are. I don't know why, where have all the bikes gone? Everyone's using vans now, aren't they? We have our mail delivered by a van. He's a nice postman as well. He's a nice bloke. The Royal Mail have been very good as far as I'm concerned. I post my letters; they get there on time. I receive my bills on time, which is a bit of a bummer. I wouldn't mind some of them disappearing, but there you are. But no, great organisation, wish them well, and to all the people on the ground, well done.
No, well, it's so unbelievable. If somebody had sort of said to me when I was a kid, you'd be on a stamp one day, I would just think that would have been crazy. But it's a great honour, and that's all you can say about it. Really, it's something which you just never thought would happen, but it is a great honour. And then to be on with so many great players, like Sir Bobby Charlton, Denis, Dave Mackay, these sort of people. It is a great honour, and delighted to be at Wembley today, especially with it being the FA's 150th anniversary as well. It's nice. It's nice when you're recognised by English fans as well, because England was a big part of my career as well. Really enjoyed playing for my country. So to be recognised by the Royal Mail and to go out throughout the country on a stamp is a great honour. When you look around today, and we've got the Royal Stamp, but then you've also got the 150th anniversary of the FA, and you look that we sort of wrote the rules for the rest of the world to play football, and you look out now the way that women's football is growing, the amount of millions throughout the world who are playing football, it makes you feel proud.
It really is a fantastic honour to be one of 11 on a football stamp, on the Royal Mail stamp. I cannot believe that I can't believe it still that I am on a stamp. When you think of so many players through the years, I mean, there could be 50, 60, and yet I'm one of 11. So I must have. To Royal Mail, I am extremely grateful. Oh, and a hero as well. Well, I'm not too sure about that one right enough, but again, what an honour to be. It's been a lovely day here, and to see some of the guys who I haven't seen for a wee while at times, who are still alive right enough. Unfortunately, three of the guys who are my pals as well, particularly George Best at Manchester United. But it really is incredible. The 11, there's 5 of the guys there, right, who were my heroes. To have them in the same team as me, really is. Jimmy Greaves for me was my favourite goal scorer. John Charles, my favourite player of all time. Dave Mackay, apart from Sir Bobby and Brian Robson and George, to have them in my team as well, I'm really lucky. We're not delivering mail in Spain or Portugal, where I like Portugal. Nice weather. I see the guys coming down the path and all that. 5 inches of snow on a bike. Oh, well, they're pushing a thing now, aren't they? A trolley thing, I think. Oh, they're a bit lucky as well, but freezing cold, try to get through it. No. Admiration, completely.